What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're talking about the newest flanker in the Ferragamo line from Salvatore Ferragamo. We are talking about Ferragamo Red Leather, the best looking bottle of the bunch. And the only one I haven't tried in this line is Spicy Leather, so I can't call it the best in the line until I've tried all of them. But of what I've tried, the original, the intense, bright leather, and now red leather, it's a close call between this and bright leather, but I want to discuss my thoughts with you, so stay tuned. Again, real quick, we'll take a look at that bottle. It's got a smoke gray colored glass with this very bright and vibrant, very vivid color red. Says Ferragamo, and then you have their horse bit going across the top and bottom of the bottle. Then you have their standard cap. It's all plastic, but it is a decent quality build, and they have a phenomenal atomizer for these bottles, as you can see. Let's talk about this scent. So when this opens up, you get a blast of citrus and a creamy, spicy ginger. That's the biggest trade-off here besides the iris, is the ginger here is on the creamy side of things. And mixing with the rosemary, you do get a nice spiced tone, but it's not overly spicy. Not like, it's a little bit more spicy than bright leather, but I would imagine not as spicy as the Spicy Leather flanker. Again, that's the only one I don't have and haven't tried, but I mean, spicy's even in the name. Now, the leather accord here, I think, is shared from bright leather. It smells similar, that blonde leather, smooth, soft, luxurious leather accord. But the biggest thing here is the way the iris and the ginger work hand in hand, because you get a creamy tone that I think you get more from the ginger than the iris, and you get that soft, powdery floral smell from the iris. It's not super waxy like most fantasy irises, and it's not super earthy like most natural irises. This is more orris butter, soft and like creamy, buttery type of thing. So that's why I say the ginger and the iris kind of work hand in hand. Spice, citrus, leather, and then that combination. It makes for a beautiful fragrance that's not too thick and creamy, that you can't wear this one in the heat, though not the best choice in the summer daytime. But the rest of the year, this is daily wear for somebody that wants to stand out and not smell exactly like everyone else wearing modern synthetics and blue fragrances and all, and, you know, old school powerhouse barber shops. If you want something a little different, more modern man with a twist, if you will, that's highly wearable, signature scent worthy kind of stuff, you're going to want to look into this one. This is actually a really good release from them. I paid this full retail for this. I think it was like $105 directly from Ferragamo. I was so interested, I just went ahead and bought it at full retail right when it dropped. And I'm glad I did. I wasn't blown away the first time I smelled it, but the more I've spent time with it, the more I like this fragrance. I'm a big fan. So those of you that saw my first impressions rating in the live stream, that rating has increased. It was like a 7 or 7.5. We'll get to the rating in a little bit. Just know it's higher than that, because sometimes you just got to spend a little bit more time with a fragrance, give it a few wearings, a few test sprays, and so on, and really understand the development and nuance. And that's what happened with this one. This one smells really good. There's layers to peel back. It's not overly complex, but it's not straightforward. It's not two-stage or super linear. It's got some character to it. It smells great. Performance, this falls in the 8 to 10 hour range. More so 8 to 9 hours is what I've been clocking it at. So that falls into the realm of the 8 to 10 hour range in longevity. Projection is moderate, but a well presented moderate, where it's not overwhelmingly strong, but if you spray this one heavy, I bet it can be, because that creamy aromatic floral tone, if you were to heavy spray this one, I bet it would get really cloying and suffocating. So you heavy sprayers, tread lightly. I mean, or do whatever the hell you want. Honestly, you're all adults. Everybody can make their own decisions. This is just my advice. You don't have to take it. But this could be a suffocating fragrance if sprayed heavy. So moderate, maybe easy on the sprays till you're used to it, and kind of see how it works for your nose and on your skin chemistry in whatever setting you're going to wear it in. Because projection, like I said, it's moderate, but it can be pretty dense at the same time for as fresh as it is. And then the sillage here is more on the moderate side, where the projection level that you get, that arm's reach-ish type of stuff, it doesn't calm down a whole lot from that. Like, I would say you lose about maybe half an arm's reach, and you're right in here with a pretty consistent sillage and scent cloud following you for most of the life of this fragrance on skin. At least that's been my experience. I don't really go all that anosmic to it. My nose will fade a little bit, but come back to life a few hours into it, but I never stop smelling it. So I don't really go nose blind. I don't get a lot of fatigue from this one. But across the board, we're well above average if you look at the cumulative score across projection, sillage, and longevity. Above average performance. Final thoughts on Ferragamo Red Leather. My first impressions rating was in the very good range. Now I think it's a great fragrance. This is an 8 out of 10 fragrance. I like it much more than Intense Leather. I like it much more than the original. I'm back and forth and torn with this and Bright Leather because they share a lot of similarity. One's fresher than the other. This has the florals and the ginger going on, whereas that's more about the citrus and the bright blonde leather accord. I feel like they took that and built upon it to create this. Haven't tried spicy leather yet. A bunch of people told me that's the best. It's a taste thing. I'm sure I'm going to like it because this line as a whole is great, and I think this deserves the great rating of 8 out of 10 because it is a great fragrance. Once it hits discounters, that's when I would advise you guys to maybe look into picking it up, unless you've went to a Ferragamo store and you've tried it and you feel like you just have to have it. You don't want to wait however many months it's going to take to drop a few dollars in price, because really at retail, it's not crazy expensive like some designers are. It's right over $100 for 100 ml. It's actually not that bad compared to newer YSLs and Dior flankers and stuff like that. They're much more pricey for 100 milliliters versus the Ferragamo fragrance. So 8 out of 10, it's a great fragrance. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on the new Ferragamo Red Leather. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have already tried this? What do you think about it? Are you one of the ones that believe spicy leather is the best? Do you like bright leather more? Are you a big fan of intense leather? It's got that earthy tone with a little bit of iris. Like, they all kind of share different nuances from one another. This line ties together really well. If you've never given the Ferragamo line a chance, you probably should. Take a look at some note breakdowns. Go to a Ferragamo store if you have one near you. Sample some of the fragrances and see, because they've got some good stuff. Ferragamo's an underrated designer fragrance house. They do designer clothing, obviously, but their fragrances pretty damn good and not crazy priced. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on Ferragamo Red Leather and you give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.